So this was my 2003 Mustang GT, and you can see I have those beautiful premium GT wheels on this car. These wheels were offered in '03 and '04 as optional GT premium wheels. They technically are 2001 Cobra wheels or 99 to '01 Cobra wheels, and I had got this set off of a convertible premium GT in Pick Apart in Las Vegas. Somebody had already stolen the center caps out of it, so if you look closely, they have the SVE center caps and the SR Performance center caps on the other side. But I really like these wheels, and when I sold this car, I let the wheels go with the car, and I kind of felt bad about that because the guy took them off and sold them after. So I would have just kept them, and I probably should have. They had brand new tires. Just when I sold the car, I felt better about sending the car out with new tires and letting people enjoy, safety and traveling on new tires. But anyway, they're really nice wheels, and they're kind of hard to come by. You see them now and again pop up on Marketplace and stuff. And if they're in really nice shape, sometimes people ask, a good amount of money for them. But anyway, I've always liked them, and I think they're a really good-looking wheel. And they were, like I said, offered as a option on the '03 and '04 GTs. And the reason I believe that happened was because in '99, Ford had the power issues with the Cobra, so they didn't make a 2000 Cobra. So I think Ford already had a bunch of these wheels produced or maybe under contract to be made. I assume they probably already had to have them produced so that when they produce the cars, they're not waiting for them. And so there wasn't a Cobra for 2000, so I think that left some wheels left over. They did make a Cobra in '01, and then the '02 Australian Cobras came out, but they didn't have other Cobras for '02, so I think they sat on a whole stockpile of these extra wheels. And then in '03, when they made the Cobra, they went to the Terminator wheel, which is a 17x9. These are 17x8s. So I think Ford had all these extra wheels, and they're really nice, and so they just offered them as a option for the GT. Just like in '03 and '04, the V6 Mustang got the Cobra hood, because the Terminator Cobra had a different hood. So I think that's the reason behind it. I'm not positive, but that's my assumption. Now, I would have just kept these wheels, like I said. I probably should have. I should have got a different set of wheels and gone through the trouble because they're hard to come by. These ones I did polish and clean up the clear coat on them, and they looked pretty good. They were kind of cloudy. They're starting to, and I think that's just going to be common on anything that old. But anyway, that's the reason why I got rid of those wheels, and I kind of always wish I would have kept them. So I was looking on Marketplace, and I found somebody selling a set of these wheels, and they were on a GT that I've seen around town, and I had noticed, and I started messaging the guy about the wheels, and I'll talk about that later in the video, but I just kind of wanted to show some pictures of my old GT with these wheels and show how good they looked, and I think they look really good, especially on the silver, which is what I have now. My current GT is a '04 silver metallic car, so I thought, well, I'm kind of recreating my old car slowly here. So now flash forward to today. This is my silver GT, and here are the wheels that I just went and picked up, and I'll talk about them here, about their condition and stuff in a second. But I love the bullet wheels that are on my GT now. They're probably my favorite wheels on a GT. And then these are a close second. I really like these as well. So it's kind of fun to have both sets. I'm not going to sell the bullet wheels. I'll just switch between the two, and maybe they'll make it onto my '02 zinc yellow GT as well. I think that car would look good with these. But here's the center caps I'm going to talk about too, and they have the part number on the back, which is surprising. These have the stickers have lasted that long. But anyway, I like these wheels a lot, and I'm happy to find a second set of them here. Now, something about these wheels I was always curious about, and I assumed, and I was correct, is the center caps are different. And so you can see how shallow and short the other ones are. And look at the detail on the horse. There's like no detail, and then this one has the detail for the Bullet Mach 1 wheel. So they are different, and I've actually seen the thinner one that came with these '01 style Cobra wheels. I've seen those get really hot and melt and they splatter on the wheels. So that's something very interesting about it. The part number on the back side in the plastic is the same. All those part numbers are the same as this. So the back side of the cap's the same. It's just the front side is not. Now there was a staple in the side of the tire. There were two of these poking out, and when I was lifting them into the car when I bought them, they snagged my gym shorts and put a little hole in my gym shorts. I was like, oh great, they have a nail in them or something. But I pulled it out and it doesn't appear to be leaking, and they're holding air just fine. There's no noise, so I think they're okay. So here we go. All right, so I got these premium GT wheels, which I really like. I've had a set before on my other silver GT. I got them off a premium convertible in pick apart, and the center caps were already stolen out of them. And I was happy that I was able to get this one with those premium GT center caps with the part number on them. And you can see the plastic part numbers down there match the ones that are on a Bullet or Mach 1 center cap. But Ford had to add that part number on there because it has to have a thinner cap to fit in here, because these are shallow, unlike the Bullet wheels and the Cobra wheels and the Mach 1 wheels. But anyway, these are in pretty good shape. I mean, they're not great. They do have some issues with the clear coat. So it's an aluminum wheel with clear coat on top. That's how Ford does it, and it makes them last, because I don't think Ford wants to rely on people having to polish their wheels and stuff, so it's easier to clear coat them. And I also think that it helps the raw aluminum from getting pitted if you drive the car somewhere in the salt and snow for the average person. But this one had quite a bit of clear coat failure. And you know, the whole conversation with the seller of these wheels was, he told me they were perfect, and then I said, well, I'd like to come look at them, and he said, okay, should I mark them as pending? And I said, well, are they bent? Do they hold air? All that. And he said, no, they're perfect. Well, this isn't perfect. And so I said, well, as long as they're not peeling or anything, because he only had one picture of the nice one. And I said, well, as long as they're, you know, not peeling or anything, then I'm happy to come buy them. And I was gonna give him his asking price. I wasn't gonna negotiate or anything. But anyway, he said, well, they are peeling. Well, one of them is pretty bad. And I said, well, that's different than when you told me. And he said, well, I mean, they're perfect, like for 20-year-old wheels that hold air. I was like, well, that's not what I asked. So anyway, I was polite, and I said, well, I am interested in the wheels and I like them, so I'd like to come see them. So anyway, I bought them anyway. He said that the tires were 50% and almost new. The other ones aren't quite almost new, but they're okay, but they're not almost new. But anyway, I just kind of figured I'd buy the wheels, and you kind of just get the tires as a bonus. I wanted to have them on my GT to drive around. So anyway, I drove away kind of thinking, well, maybe I got hosed a little bit. I gave him the same price I paid for my nicer set I bought. But he was nice to come down a little bit on the price. But anyway, I'm going to get rid of this clear coat, and I've seen some pretty cool examples on, you know, videos of people who do this. And you know, I thought I'd try it on one of the wheels and polish it at least, and maybe do all of them. Those ones are still okay. I guess we'll see how they match. But this is the stuff you want to get. It's a Rust-Oleum aircraft remover. And instead of an aerosol can, you want it like this, where you can brush it on and it'll just start to peel off. You know, let it sit for 10 minutes. And then I'll hit it with aluminum polish when I'm done. And because you can just see they're flaking off in chunks all over the place here. So we'll see how that goes, and I think you could even wet sand them a little bit if there's a problem with that. But I'm gonna take out the caps and I'm gonna try that out. Safety first. And you can see I brushed it evenly across all surfaces with the toothbrush. There. You can see it's pulling up that clear coat. Nice, beautiful aluminum wheels underneath. It's kind of flaking off, see that? So it's coming along. There's a couple little stubborn spots there. See where I've done a few coats, and it's flaking off, you know, but it's doing a few different coats, a few passes, but you can see it flake off. So I'm trying out this like makeup brush to get a nice even coating, have a little thick so that it gets everything, can sit on there and eat away. So while I'm letting that stuff soak in, I'll just show you a little bit about this. Here's a 99 Cobra. So those are the same wheels. These ones are the painted ones. Somebody had told me that only the 01 Cobras got the chrome or polished aluminum ones. But then somebody said they ordered theirs with the polished ones. And so to expand on that statement, the 99 Cobras seemed like they all came with the painted wheels, but somebody told me that they ordered their 99 Cobra with the polished aluminum wheels like these. And so when I made the video about the 99 and 01 Cobras, it was hard to find anywhere where you could order the 99 Cobra with the aluminum wheels with the polish. It didn't seem like it was anywhere on the options in the brochure or anything, but somebody said, no, I ordered my 99 Cobra with the chrome, and I think you could order it either way for 2001 as well. But it did seem like most of the 2001 Cobras I saw were all the polished ones, so it seemed like 99 got painted and 01 got polished. But I've had people tell me they ordered theirs differently, so I'm not positive on that. But I do know that there were tons of these polished ones later on, and none of the painted ones were offered on the GTs. So here it is in the 03 manual, 17-inch bright aluminum wheel, optional on GT Premium. And so I think that's pretty cool. Now, I didn't have this acid stuff, the aircraft stripper, on in huge thick clumps. Maybe I should have. Maybe if I put it on a little more liberally, it would have eaten it up better, so I went back and did it more. I didn't want to mar it up too much with that toothbrush, but I used some mag aluminum polish on it anyway, and you can see just kind of the swirl looking marks on it, so I'm going to use the buffer. Might be going a little bit overboard, but we'll try it out. There's some discoloration where the clear coat had peeled before. So I had used mag aluminum polish on the one that I stripped the clear coat off, and then I used wax on the other ones and polished them up, and they looked pretty good. Here's the part number for the wheel. I believe that's a 2000 or 99 part number. So I believe these wheels really were made back then, and then they were offered later. It says 17x8 and some other numbers there if you want to investigate. And the center caps, they were identical except for this one mark here, and I believe that would have been January. And then that was like May, I believe. And so when you see that aftermarket sticker that's on the back of these center caps, it's because the center cap itself, the back side of it, is the same as the other ones, but they had to change the part number for that shallow cap. And that's why you see the 3 in that part number for 2003, because this was a 2003 part and a 2004 part. but other than that, the caps were identical. So here are the wheels on the car the next morning. They looked beautiful, and I did decide to leave the clear coat on the other three, and I polished one of them. So see if you can tell which one was polished. And so when I did use the mag aluminum polish on that one wheel, I was expecting it to come out to like a chrome finish, kind of like the chrome Terminator wheels I have. But it didn't. They all looked about the same. You can't really tell which ones have clear coat and which don't. So that's a good thing because I didn't have to strip the other three wheels. Now later down the road, I might strip them. Some of them do have a little bit of peeling on that clear coat as I showed earlier, and it's not awful yet. Like, it's still pretty presentable, but it looks really good. So the next morning I drove over to my brother's house and I had him come out and look at the wheels, and he said, "So did you strip all of them?" And I said, "What do you think?" And I had him walk around and look at them, and he said, "Well, they all look about the same. They look really good. Those look really nice on that car." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I only stripped one of them, and I polished it." And so, I told him which one it was. But he said, "Oh, they look really, really good." So it's kind of cool to have these on the car. I went for a walk with my wife, and when we came back, as we're approaching the house, you just kind of walk past the car, and I said, "If you were just walking past the car, what would you think?" And we both agreed that it looked like it was a really nice GT with really nice wheels on it. So I'm very happy to have these on here, and I might take them off and trade them out for the bullet wheels and go back and forth when I get bored or used to them, we'll say. But it's a neat piece of Ford history, especially with those center caps. And I think it's neat that Ford had done that. And I asked other people who had these wheels about their center caps, and nobody would take pictures or give me any details. Or they said, "Oh, they're the same as the bullet wheels," which they're not. So I'm glad I have a set of my own to confirm that. And I like having this piece of Ford history and these really nice, somewhat rare looking wheels on a GT. And this is a GT Premium that I have. It just wasn't ordered with these. It was ordered with the bullet wheels, but this car had leather and everything that it came with. Now it has cloth because of the seats being parted out when the car was being parted out and wrecked. And so when I put the car back together, I put the cloth seats in, and even though it is a premium interior upgrade package car, but it's kind of cool to have the premium wheels on it. So I'll see what the upkeep is on these, whether you have to polish them more or not. I don't have any salt I go through or anything like that. So this desert climate's really nice on everything. So this aluminum should stay pretty nice, but I'll see what it takes to keep up on these wheels, and I'll let you know. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more Mustang content.